Good morning. The Senate will come to order. The Secretary will call the roll.
Senator Brooks, Senator Buck, Senator Cannizzaro, Senator Dennis, Senator Donate, Senator Dondero Loop, Senator Goicoechea, Senator Hammond, Senator Hansen, Senator Hardy, Senator Harris, Senator Kieckhofer, Senator Lang, Senator Neal, Senator Orenshaw, Senator Pickard, Senator Ratty,
Here.
Senator Scheibel, Senator Sievers-Gansert, Senator Settlemyre, Senator Spearman.
Here.
Thank you. Let the record reflect there are 21 senators present. Please rise for the invocation by Pastor Bruce Henderson of the Airport Church, Road of Christ in Carson City.
Let us pray. Lord, I looked at my calendar this morning and was informed that today is Don't Cry Over Spilled Milk Day. Well, we ask your help and your strength, God, through difficult and messy times during this legislative session. With your blessing, may we handle all that comes with wisdom, kindness, consideration. In the name of our Lord we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Order of business number 3, reading and approval of the journal. By previous order of the Senate, the reading of the journal is dispensed with, and the President and Secretary are authorized to make the necessary corrections and additions. Order of business number 6, messages from the Assembly.
Assembly Chamber, Carson City, February 10th, 2021. To the Honorable Senate, I have the honor to inform your Honorable Body the Assembly on this day passed Assembly Bill number 106, signed Carol I. Elisala, Assistant Chief Clerk of the Assembly. End of messages.
Thank you. Order of business number 9.
Senator Pickard has approved the addition of Senator Kieckhofer as a co-sponsor on Senate Bill 88. Senator Orenshaw has approved the addition of Senator Dondero Loop as a primary sponsor on Senate Bill 96. Senator Harris has approved the addition of Senator Orenshaw as a primary sponsor on Senate Bill number 106. And that concludes order of business number 9.
Thank you. Order of business number 10, introduction, first reading, and reference.
Senate Bill number 113, introduced by Senator Kieckhofer, makes various changes relating to arson. End of bill.
Thank you. Senator Kieckhofer.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that Senate Bill 113 be referred to the Committee on Judiciary.
Thank you. Senator Kieckhofer has referred Senate Bill 113 to the Committee on Judiciary. Are there any objections to the referral? If not, so ordered.
Senate Bill number 114, introduced by Senators Goicoechea, Settlemyre, and Hansen, authorizes food that contains hemp to be produced or sold at a food establishment under certain circumstances. End of bill.
Thank you. Senator Goicoechea.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to refer Senate Bill 114 to your Committee on Natural Resources.
Thank you. Senator Goicoechea has referred Senate Bill 114 to the Committee on Natural Resources. Are there any objections to the referral? If not, so ordered.
Senate Bill number 115, introduced by Senator Spearman, revises provisions relating to confidentiality of certain personal information of certain persons. End of bill.
Thank you. Senator Spearman.
Thank you, Madam President. I just lost my place, but I would move to refer this to your Committee on Government Affairs.
Thank you. Senator Spearman has moved to refer Senate Bill 115 to the Committee on Government Affairs. Are there any objections to the referral? If not, so ordered.
Senate Bill number 116, introduced by Senator Spearman, revises provisions relating to mental health. End of bill.
Thank you. Senator Spearman.
Thank you, Madam President. Move to refer this bill to your Committee on Health and Human Services.
Thank you. Senator Spearman has referred Senate Bill 116 to the Committee on Health and Human Services. Are there any objections to the referral? If not, so ordered.
Senate Bill number 117, introduced by Senator Sievers-Gansert, etc., and Assemblywoman Tolles, etc., revises provisions relating to economic development. End of bill.
Thank you. Senator Sievers-Gansert.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to refer Senate Bill 117 to the Committee on Revenue and Economic Development.
Thank you. Senator Sievers-Gansert has referred Senate Bill 117 to the Committee on Revenue and Economic Development. Are there any objections to the referral? If not, so ordered.
Senate Bill number 118, introduced by Senator Severs, Gansert, etc., and Assemblywoman Tolz, etc., establishes provisions relating to education. End of bill.
Thank you. Senator Severs-Gansert.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to refer Senate Bill 118 to the Committee on Education.
Thank you. Senator Severs-Gansert has referred Senate Bill 118 to the Committee on Education. Are there any objections to the referral? If not, so ordered.
Senate Bill number 119, introduced by Senators Pickard, etc., revises provisions relating to domestic relations. End of bill.
Thank you. Senator Pickard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that Senate Bill number 119 be referred to the Committee on Judiciary.
Thank you. Senator Pickard has referred Senate Bill 119 to the Committee on Judiciary. Are there any objections to the referral? If not, so ordered.
Senate Bill number 106, introduced by Senate Committee on Ways and Means, makes appropriation to the Office of Economic Development for the provision of grants of certain entities impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. End of bill.
Thank you. Senator Ratty.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam Lieutenant Governor, I move to refer AB 106 to the Committee on Finance.
Thank you. Senator Ratty has referred Assembly Bill 106 to the Committee on Finance. Are there any objections to the referral? If not, so ordered.
And that concludes order of business number 10.
Thank you. Order of business 12. Second reading.
Senate Bill number 83, introduced by Senate Committee on Education, revises provisions relating to certain assessments of people of the state of Nevada represented in the Senate and Assembly do enact as follows. Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill?
I have amendment number 1 proposed by Senate Committee on Education.
Thank you. Senator Dennis.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to dispense with the reading of the amendment.
Thank you. Senator Dennis has moved to dispense with the reading of the amendment. If there are no objections, so ordered. Senator Dennis.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the Senate adopt amendment number 1 to Senate Bill 83.
Thank you. You have heard the motion. Are there any remarks? Senator Dennis.
Thank you. The amendment authorizes Nevada's Department of Education to temporarily waive or pause the requirement to include certain information based on the results of examinations measuring the achievement and proficiency of pupils in the annual report of accountability in the event that the administration of federally required assessments is temporarily waived or paused.
Thank you. Are there any further remarks? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying yay. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Are there any further amendments to the bill?
There are none.
Thank you. Senate Bill 83 is ordered reprinted. No. Engrossed and to the general file. All right.
And that concludes order of business number 12 and business of the desk on the first agenda.
Thank you. Order of business number 16, remarks from the floor. Senator Brooks? I'm sorry.
Thank you, Madam President. The Finance Committee will be meeting on the floor of the Senate upon recess.
Thank you. Senator Hansen.
Thank you, Madam President. I have been charting the COVID cases because, we have the building closed down to the public, and I just want to point out to the body that COVID cases in Nevada peaked exactly 2 months ago at 2,700 cases a day. We have dropped all the way down to 650 cases. The curve is clearly on a rapid decline. The Constitution of the State of Nevada, to remind everybody, says that the doors of each house shall be kept open during its entire session, and that the meetings of all legislative committees must be open to the public. I requested when we opened that we get some sort of a statistical trigger that we could reach so that the public would know when we're going to open the chambers. When we all swore an oath that we would uphold the Constitution, I'm fully aware that there are issues revolving around the pandemic, but I think the trend is clear. I think that we have opened almost all the rest of the state government to at least a 25% capacity. We, as a Senate, have the ability to have our own rules and as a legislative body. While I am sensitive to the needs of staff, I don't think that our staff really has any different health issues than all the other staffs that we have opened the buildings to all across the state. So, and none of the other government offices have a constitutional mandate to be open to the public. I think our staff has done a phenomenal job putting together these committee hearings, But I think that can be, that actually, by the way, has been a bit of a problem for the public. Their ability to actually participate has been limited. They have done the best they can, but it's pretty clear to me that the public is completely frustrated over the current process. And when they find out that we have a constitutional responsibility to have our meetings open to them, they're asking why, and legitimately so. So I'm going to, as the minority member here, I cannot ask for any formal motion, but I do want to again ask leadership to give the public a trigger, a specific time, a date, something that they can watch for so that it's not entirely arbitrary. When I swear an oath to uphold something, to me, that's my honor and my oath. And I think while there are reasonable restrictions at times during a pandemic, that by charting these numbers, that has passed. It is time to open up this chamber and this building to the public. So, Madam President, thank you for that indulgence, and I want to once again encourage the leadership and the members of this body to uphold their oath and to open up this building to the public. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator Hansen. Are there any further remarks? All right, then. Hearing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn. No, what are we doing? We're recessing, right? What? I have a... Oh, you know what? I get to do it. Ha ha. Okay. We are in recess now. Thank you to the call of the chair.
Senate Finance will be meeting on the floor of the Senate. Aye.
Recess is over, guys. We are on agenda item number 4, reports of committee.
Madam President, your Committee on Finance, to which was referred Senate Bill number 106, has same under consideration, begs report, same back the recommendation do pass. Signed, Senator Chris Brooks, Chair. End of reports.
Thank you. Order of business number 9, motions, resolutions, and notices. Senator Brooks?
Thank you, Madam President. I move that all necessary rules be suspended. Reading so far had considered first reading. Rules further suspended, and that Assembly Bill number 106 be declared an emergency measure under the Constitution and placed on third reading for final passage this legislative day.
Thank you. Senator Brooks has moved that Assembly Bill 106 be declared an emergency measure. Are there any remarks?
Thank you, Madam President. This bill, Assembly Bill 106, is an urgent funding measure for small businesses in the state, and we would like to get this out immediately so that small businesses can get their money and help keep their lights on.
Thank you. Are there any further remarks? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying yay. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Assembly Bill 106 will be placed in the general file for consideration.
And that concludes order of business number 9.
Thank you. Order of business number 13, general file.
Assembly Bill number 106, introduced by Assembly Committee on Ways and Means, makes appropriation to the Office of Economic Development for the provisions of grants to certain entities impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The people of the state of Nevada, represented in the Senate and Assembly, do enact as follows. Section 1 to Section 1.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the bill as a whole?
There are none. Section 2, this act becomes effective upon passage and approval. End of bill.
Thank you. Remarks from the floor. Senator Brooks.
Thank you, Madam President. Assembly Bill 106 makes an appropriation from the general fund to the Governor's Office of Economic Development in the amount of $50 million. This appropriation must be used by GOED to provide grants for operational support to small businesses, nonprofit organizations, and other similar entities that have been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The bill further requires GOED to prepare a report that details each grant made from the $50 million. This report must be transmitted to the Interim Finance Committee on or before June 30th, 2021. Lastly, the bill prohibits any remaining balance of the $50 million from being committed for expenditure after June 30, 2021. Any remaining money from the $50 million must be reverted to the general fund on or before September 17th, 2021. The bill is effective upon passage and approval.
Thank you. Further remarks, Senator Settlemeyer.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise in support of AB 106. I think it's very important that we finally get these funds to their intended purpose, which was to help the business community that is out there. These funds are not new. They date back to the previous president. In fact, these funds have been sitting around. I don't know why. This program was put forth in October. I assisted the treasurer with my illustrious colleague from district, and I always get his number wrong, so give me 1 second. 19, in discussing how to make the process simple and get the funds out. This program was so popular, it took a national program called Zoom Grant and melted the system in 25 minutes so that businesses could not even figure out how to get in and get it done. This program was supposed to be available for 2 weeks. It was supposed to be open for 2 weeks for businesses, but it was so apparent that the funds would be expended, they shut it down after 48 hours. In a 48-hour time frame, promises were basically made to allocate $100 million to these businesses at $10,000 apiece to try to keep them open. It's sad to me that it took us this long, because sadly a lot of these businesses that existed in October may not exist today. I fully support AB 106. I just wish it could have been done sooner. And I question, will we open up the program again if we have extra resources? If I could ask that of the chair.
Thank you, Senator Settlemeyer. Senator Canizaro.
Thank you, Madam President. I too rise in strong support of Assembly Bill number 106. And one of the reasons I think why we are hearing this, frankly, so early in the legislative session is because it is something that we know is needed in our community. It is money that we were able to put together into this program, which is going to serve in total over 9,000 businesses, small businesses, here in the state of Nevada. This program was originally set up with some monies to go to these businesses and was set up so that they could apply for it, and there was such a high demand because we know that small businesses are truly struggling with how to both remain open safely and also keep their doors open while doing so. And I think that this is exactly the kind of measure that does deserve to be before us in an expeditious fashion, and one of the reasons why it has moved so swiftly through both of these chambers and why we're here today so early in session approving it. One of the things that did occur was that there was a demand that far exceeded the amount of money that was originally put into this program for these small businesses. And thankfully, with some of the additional funds that were approved just in this last couple of months by Congress, that we were able to not only realize those, but also some additional funds, and we're able to allocate these in yet another $50 million amount for businesses that is going to serve some of these businesses that have been waiting. Last night during the hearing in Finance and Ways and Means, I was struck by the ability of the Treasurer's Office, GOED, and also the Governor's Office to put together this program in a swift manner and to be able to get funds out to small businesses without adding staff and with having the ability to do a couple of things that I think is so important and why this program should be lauded as something that we are all very proud of. And one of those things was that they made sure that these were Nevada-based businesses, that they were actually operating here in Nevada, that they had businesses that were ongoing here. So we are really taking steps with this program to make sure that we're serving Nevadans, which is exactly what we have to do in the face of this pandemic. Additionally, we talked about what sorts of outreach had gone on with not only the chambers of commerce here in the state, throughout the state, our diversity chambers as well, but also on behalf of the Treasurer's Office and Director Brown from the Governor's Office of Economic Development to add a personal touch where they relayed that they had actually been making personal phone calls to owners of businesses to let them know about the grants that had been awarded, and also to call those businesses to verify what was going on in those businesses specifically so that they could appropriately allocate those funds. And I think that's something that shouldn't be discarded in passing. It's something that I think we need in the face of this pandemic and how we are all weathering it together. That personal touch is just so important. And I can't thank them enough for their ability to put this program on the ground and to also do that. This $50 million that we are voting on today is something that is going to go a long way to help a lot of people. We heard from so many small businesses last night who had received some of these funds, and it allowed them to stay open. It allowed them to keep employees employed, and it allowed them to still be here today. We all know that this pandemic has touched every single one of us in some fashion and has made things exceedingly hard for small businesses. But as we all work together to keep each other safe in the midst of a global pandemic that is still ongoing and that is still something that we face on a daily basis, where we have loved ones that are sick, we have loved ones who are passing away from this, that we have to take the appropriate precautions to be responsible. And I think that this is one way in which we can help ensure that we come out of this stronger together. So, Madam President, thank you for the time, and I strongly support and urge my colleagues to support Assembly Bill 106.
Thank you, Senator Canizaro. Senator Lang.
Thank you, Madam President. I too speak in favor of this bill. Before I was a senator, I worked for a small business. I worked as the operations manager for a gaming bar and tavern in Las Vegas. As you know, they were closed for 4 months due to the pandemic, and now they have decreased occupancy. They applied for one of these grants, and they were awarded one of these grants. And I can't tell you how relieved they were to receive $10,000, because to be 4 months behind in rent, not having any income coming, it was like, do we close the business? Do we try to make it? Do we keep people employed? Do we pay their insurance? Do we make sure that we keep this going for everyone? And that was the decision they made. But this grant was instrumental for them to be able to continue to stay open. And that's how it is for so many small businesses in Nevada. So I'm really excited that there's going to be a second round. And I too hope that if there's more money, people can reapply again. I think that we want to help small businesses. They're important to our state. And please support AB 106.
Thank you, Senator Lang. Senator Hansen.
Thank you, Madam President. I too rise in strong support of this bill. Although I have a slightly different take, having been a member for all of my adult life of the small business community, the truth is that the small business community in Nevada has been absolutely devastated by the shutdown, by the governor shutting down all businesses. And while I could see that as in a reasonable fashion initially, the truth is that we have had a top-down management system during this entire pandemic, and we should have, way back when, shifted the focus to allow the local business communities, including the small businesses, and their local elected officials on the city councils and the county commissions to determine when and how they can be opened. And while $50 million is substantial, we need to keep in mind that the gross domestic product of our state is roughly $120 billion, billion with a B. And $50 million is very small, too late for many of the businesses. As my colleague pointed out, this program was first available in October. There were so many desperate small businesses in this state that they literally had to shut the program down 48 hours after opening it because of the demand for the monies. What that should tell all of us in this chamber is that those people were desperate back in October. And the fact that we've sat on even this $50 million for, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, is a little bit of an embarrassment. And to act now like, wow, we're going to rush out and rescue the small business community by dumping in an infusion of $50 million, while so many of the ones that applied are no longer in business because they couldn't open because of the governor's shutdown. So I want to make sure that everybody understands. And by the way, I'm also glad that this time we have checks in place to make sure that this money actually goes to Nevada businesses. Because when we study the whole Dieter mess, we discover that they estimate 50% of a $8 billion payout was fraudulent. Now, how many small businesses could we help? If you divide $4 billion by 50 million. How many times could we have helped small businesses if we'd simply had some reasonable checks in place to prevent that fraud? Because that money is gone. So I'm totally in favor of Assembly Bill 106, I urge my colleagues to support it. But before we all start dancing around and giving ourselves pats on the back, we should very seriously, before we leave this session, make sure that the powers of the executive branch are placed under some reasonable oversight by this body. The governor should not have the ability to literally have this dictation policy covering the entire state of Nevada. Those things should have been done on a local level after maybe a reasonable 30-day window or something like that. But instead, we have left that kind of power in place. And believe me, if you were to ask the small business community what they really want, they would want to make sure that in the future, if there's some sort of a situation like that, that there is some reasonable check on executive power and that their local elected officials are part of the process of determining when, how, and so forth they can open their own businesses. So I'm glad we're given $50 million. Congratulations to all that, but we better start looking at some real long-term solutions rather than these one-shot appropriation things where we sit around here and sing Kumbaya like we're saving the business community that we have absolutely allowed to be devastated by the governor's edicts. So yes, please vote for Assembly Bill number 106, but let's look at the bigger picture here and make sure that we as legislators and representatives of the people of the state make sure by the time we sine die that we have reasonable checks on executive power. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator Hansen. Senator Brooks. Senator Brooks, did you want to speak again? Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Madam President. I couldn't hear.
I know.
Well, as my colleagues from Senate District 17 and 14 have so thoroughly and eloquently expressed that our businesses have been devastated as a result of this public health crisis, and they are hurting very bad. And as they also expressed, and I agree wholeheartedly with, this program worked incredibly well. It got money in the hands of businesses that needed it the most, and helped them help weather this storm. And as a result of the constantly changing guidance that came out of the federal government in the last administration, up until the last week of December, the guidance on how this money could be used changed. And as a result of that, the only mechanism available to us to make this money available to these small businesses, this additional funds, is here in the regular session. And I'm proud of the Legislative Council Bureau staff. I'm proud of the Assembly. I'm proud of the Senate that in just the second week of this regular legislative session, we're able to get this money approved and out. And I'm proud of this Senate that we were able within less than 24 hours to take that Assembly bill, approve it, and so we can get that money right into the hands of these small businesses. And so this is the only avenue that was available to us, and I'm glad that everybody in this building came together in a bipartisan fashion, both houses, to move this money to the Nevadans who need it the most.
Thank you, Senator Brooks. Senator Buck, did you have a comment? Okay, thank you. Senator Spearman or Senator Ratty, I don't have you on my screen, so I didn't know if you might want to comment. Senator Spearman?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, Madam President. Thank you for this opportunity. I want to say that I'm in full support of this bill, and I agree with my colleague that most of what we had in terms of confusion was coming because there were constantly changing administrative modals from the last administration. But let me say this, as someone who suffered a really, really bad episode with COVID-19, I'm thankful that the governor took the procedures that he did, because there's nothing like wanting to breathe and you can't breathe. There's nothing like closing your eyes and you don't know if they're going to open again. Are we seeing the, the numbers go down? Yes, we are. There are some people who are wearing masks now. There are people who are being vaccinated. But small businesses also will have to contend with the variants of this virus. I believe what we're doing today is a very courageous, conscious, and empathetic move that acknowledges small businesses. And I believe all of us have small businesses in our district. I believe that all of us have talked to small businesses in our district. We've gotten phone calls, we've gotten emails. And I know for a fact that what they want to do, they want to see this money to them. And they also want to make sure that they are protected. Because there are some small businesses, yes, who did open their doors, and some of the small business owners who did not survive COVID. So I'm glad we're taking this step today. I'm glad there's a mask mandate in place. And I thank God I'm not in ICU anymore.
Thank you, Senator Spearman, and I'm glad you're not in ICU either. Senator Ratty, did you have any comments?
Nothing to add, Madam President.
Thank you. All right, then. Further remarks? I'm not seeing any. Okay, guys. So hearing none, the secretary will open the roll.
Senator Ratty, do you vote yes or no on this bill?
Yes.
Senator Spearman, do you vote yes or no on this bill?
Yes.
All right. Looks like everyone's voted. Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? All right. Secretary will close the roll. The vote on Assembly Bill 106 is 21 in favor, 0 against. The bill, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Order to the, well, I guess it's not order to the Assembly. It's order to the Assembly. Order to the Assembly. Senator Brooks.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that all necessary rules be suspended and that the Assembly Bill number 106 be immediately transmitted to the Assembly.
Thank you. Senator Brooks has moved that all necessary rules be suspended and Assembly Bill 106 be immediately transmitted to the Assembly. All those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. Motion passes.
And that concludes order of business number 13 and business of the desk for this legislative day.
Thank you. Order of business number 16, remarks from the floor. Don't have any guests. Senator Canizaro? Senator, oh, nobody's up there. Buddy? Not here, no. Sorry. Senator Ratty or Senator Spearman, I don't see your little picture, but did you guys have any comments?
Madam President, just for future reference, we have a button that we can push that will show up on your screen.
Oh, really?
So no comments.
Can you push it so I can see? Let's recess for a sec, guys. All right, we're back in session, guys, on order of business number 16, remarks from the floor. Senator Canizaro.
Thank you, Madam President. I believe that Senator Spearman may have had some remarks.
Senator Spearman, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, Madam President. And unfortunately, the button that I had is not working. So I'm sure we'll be able to get it straight with IT. I just want to say, as we are just a few days away from the Parkland mass shooting, to remember those victims. My friend Fred Gutenberg lost his beautiful daughter Jamie that day. And I've spoken to him several times, and if Fred were here today, he would remind us that in 3 years since, we have continued to fail these victims. Nothing has changed. We've done some things here in Nevada for gun safety and to address mental health issues, but we can't do patchwork. We continue to fail. Generations behind us will condemn our lack of action, and they will see this as a lack of conscience. We must do something. We must do the right thing to make sure that a Parkland never happens again. And so, Madam President, I would hope that we can adjourn session today in honor of the victims of the Parkland mass shooting and all of the victims of gun violence. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Spearman. Senator Cannizzaro?
Thank you, Madam President. And Madam President, I would move that the Senate stand in adjournment until the hour of 11 a.m. on Monday, February 15th of 2021. And in light of my colleague from Senate District 1's comments in honor of those victims of gun violence. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. You have heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying yay. Opposed?
Yay.
Okay. Opposed, nay. All right, the motion carries and the Senate is adjourned in honor of the victims of Parkland and all victims of gun shooting and violence in this country. See you at Monday, February 15th at 11 a.m., folks. Take care.